Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have another diamond in the rough for you guys today. His name is Al Hogan. He is an offensive lineman now at Kennesaw State University. So nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you as well.
So if people don't know of your story, I mean, first started at Wofford, and then of course, recently transferred to Kennesaw State, and of course, a lot of things happening now at Kennesaw State. They're going to be transferring up to FBS very soon, not this year, but once, maybe next year, after that. But I do want to get a chance to meet you and see where you fit in there at Kennesaw. So
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead and just kind of give us a little bit of your background, if you don't mind. Tell us where you're from
Yeah.
and start walking us through this thing.
Yes, sir. Born in a small town, Fayetteville, Georgia, about an hour south of Atlanta. Went to Landmark Christian School all the way from pre-K all the way through high school. Um, Started dating my now wife my junior year of high school. Around that time, I started getting recruited. Ended up at Wofford, which was a great choice. Loved every second up there. Played under some good coaches and really had a great time. Met some great people that changed my life forever. Um, my wife went to Coastal Carolina, so doing that trip however so often was fun to say the least. Um, and then towards the end of my career, Wofford doesn't have a graduate school; it's just a college. So I wanted to get my master's degree somewhere. So I came down to Kennesaw State, came back home, and it's been a great decision. I love it down here.
Well, definitely interesting now, a little closer to your hometown there at Kennesaw State. So cool. Let's kind of uh, go back around, maybe fill in some of these blanks about you and your story here real quick. So again, coming out of Landmark Christian there in Georgia, one of the things that I was able to find out about you is that you were actually a wrestler way back in high school. So talk about that, man. Let me know about your success in that sport,
Yeah.
and maybe if you feel that has really helped you along the way.
Uh,
Enlighten me.
yes, sir. Wrestled in middle school a little bit and in high school for 3 years. Um, Love wrestling because it's different from football in the aspect of on the O line. We're kind of just the guys that go do the work and get out. But on the mat, it's just you're out there. So feeling that pressure from a sport is was interesting and fun to be a part of. Um, and I love being able just to move people and put them in places they want to be. So that aspect translates to football really well, and I enjoyed everything about it.
Cool. And then, of course, there at Landmark Christian, talk about I don't know, are there some moments that you remember? I know it's been a minute since your high school days, but is there anything that you remember about your time there that you can share?
Yes, sir. My junior year, we went on a run it was incredible. We had some great players out there. I mentioned to you earlier, Joey Blunt played safety and quarterback. Unbelievable player, unbelievable person. Um, the game that sticks out the most to me, I want to say, is I think it was Wesley in my junior year. We went down, did a big drive to seal the game out, did a quarterback wedge on the goal line to finish it out, and it was great.
Awesome. Well, of course, you finished out your time there in high school, and then out of high school, eventually ended up at Wofford. Let's kind of walk through that, man. How did you find yourself there?
Yeah, Walker was a place I didn't really even know about till they started recruiting me. And I went up on a visit up there, and I fell in love. All the coaches up there. It was a great place. A small school. I want to say it's 1,700 students in total, maybe less. Um, but for me, I graduated high school with 70 kids, so it felt like the big city to me. Um, but Wofford was great.
Cool. And obviously being there, uh, went through a lot, man. You really went through a lot during your time there at Wofford. You've been through a lot of highs, a lot of lows, been through a lot of different offenses too. So,
Yes, sir.
um, I mean, I think back at 2019, super run heavy. And then of
Hmm.
course, last year, did start airing out the ball a little bit. I know you haven't spent a full season there at Kennesaw, but I mean certainly going to be put in that offensive line somewhere. But to date, can you kind of give me some sort of feel as to the offenses you've been a part of?
Yeah. So when I first got to Wofford, pretty much a triple based offense. Started to go to the gun a little bit more, but still mostly under. Um, Really fun offense to be a part of. Run blocking is something that I've always prided myself on. So being able to do that just about every snap was a lot of fun to be a part of. Going into last year, I thought we had a decent core of people that we were transitioning right, so it wasn't exactly where it needs to be, but Jimmy Wyrick, my roommate, he was in my bridal party. Good friend of mine. Watching him throw it around and break some records was fun to be part of.
Cool. I mean, again, part of a few different offenses there. Run heavy as crap, and then they started airing things out. They also moved you around a little bit. I mean, I realized you played some center, some guard. Can you elaborate a little bit about your position and role out there on the offensive line?
Yeah, so I played everything but center in high school, and then as soon as I stepped on campus at Wofford, they told me you're playing center. So it took me a good year to figure out how to snap and step and how to do all that at the same time. Um, but once I fell into the role, I became incredibly comfortable. I fell in love with just kind of trying to learn the game and learn how to make calls and call out defenses, and that's something I feel confident in now. And very thankful for that the opportunity at center. Once I get on here, they kind of move me to guard now, which is something I feel a little more natural in. I feel like I'm playing high school ball again, which is fun to do. But still, that love for the game is still there. Still loving. I go in every day and watch film and try to pick apart my opponents.
So, how do you see yourself perhaps transitioning to the next level? I mean, certainly as a guy who can maybe play center, and also obviously guard is your natural position, you would say. I mean, what do you feel separates you as a prospect, as a guy who's maybe looking, to get to the pros here very soon?
Yes, sir. I would say my cerebral part of the game, film is something I love, and just picking all the every OC that I've been with, I've gone in and try to pick the brains apart, try to figure out why they do what they do. I go in with our defensive coordinator every once in a while and sit down with them and figure out defenses and why they do what they do. And the why is the question for me at this point. I know how to do most of everything, but why we do it is a different level that I try to attack.
Cool. Well, I mean, certainly a guy who has developed a lot over the years. I mean, and I just kind of think about a guy coming in, being thrusted into this center position that he had never played in high school. And now obviously transferring to a school that's on the up and up and gonna be tested against some good competition. But for you, man, give me some sense as to perhaps the difference of the type of athlete and person you are now versus that freshman who came in not knowing how to snap.
Well, I've always been big. I was telling some people today, I stepped on campus my freshman year at Wofford at 6'4", 300. Since that time, I got up to around 320. It's probably a little too big. Since I got down here, they told me to lose some weight, so I'm down to 305 now. Um, and as a freshman, I was just young and naive, didn't know much. Thought I knew a lot, didn't. Got humbled really quickly. Um, but I've changed a lot, and I'm proud of the person I am today.
Yeah, and the thing is too, man, I feel like you've overcome some adversity, and really I think character is truly defined by how a person responds to that. So give me an example of how you've done that over the years.
The biggest thing that sticks out to me is during the COVID spring season, uh, last game of the season, I went down with a leg injury. Um, Set me up. They X-rayed it, figured out I was broken, and I told my trainer right after that, I said, I'm not going to miss a snap. Now that didn't necessarily happen that way, but that was the mindset that I had when I attacked it. Went
Sure.
in on surgery on that Thursday and bedridden for a couple of weeks. But then once I got the boot on, I was already outside lifting again. I was doing deadlifts with my boot on, which I probably shouldn't have been doing, but I was doing it. um, and just taking that mindset every day and try to get back as soon as possible for my team was was probably the best example of overcoming adversity that I have.
Yeah, and for whatever it's worth, I mean, it does give you a chance to step off the football field, maybe focus on a lot of different things, give you a new, fresh perspective on the game as well as life. I mean, I realize, obviously you were at Wofford for a while. I'm pretty sure you obtained a degree and then grad transferred. So,
Yes,
what did
sir.
you ultimately end up with as a student? Like,
I got
what
a
did you
I got a degree in humanities with a focus in art, English, and theater. So I got to take some pretty interesting classes at Wofford.
okay, art. What? That's an interesting one.
It's
Uh, Go ahead.
it's the way they do it. It's like an interdisciplinary studies. So there are certain subjects that are fall underneath the humanities, and you can pick three subjects which you want to focus on. So I picked art, English, and theater.
Cool. Well, hey, I mean, at the very least, you have an interesting, I guess, path through, classes, and obviously, if it did eventually get that degree, I mean, have you thought about maybe what you'd be doing like after your football days are done?
I want to coach, so I don't know if my football days will ever be done.
Well, there you go. Hope
Yes,
that
sir.
definitely sounds like a plan. So cool. Well, Al, I mean, I know you've been again a part of a lot of different offenses, and now you're there at Kennesaw, and going to be a guard in that system. But again, we're looking at this upcoming season. What's your outlook there, first season there at Kennesaw State? Can you give me some sense as to what we're going to see out of Kennesaw this season?
Yeah, I think we brought in Coach Klanakis from Liberty as the OC, and he's an offensive mastermind. I've never been around someone so smart in my entire life. Um, but he's doing the same old pistol attack he's doing that he's done his whole career, and we've taken that in stride, and we love it. All the players here love it. We all love the system, Coach Klanakis as a person, um, and we're all excited for this upcoming season.
Cool. So, what has been perhaps your best moment so far? I mean, obviously we're going back to your days at Wofford, but when you think about some of the games and maybe even a specific play, can you give me an example of maybe one of your better moments out there?
Yeah, the one that sticks out is playing ETSU last year. We wouldn't have the best year, and uh, we had that coaching change mid-year, and everyone was feeling excited to play ETSU. I think week 2 or 3 after the coaching changes, and getting towards the end of the game, we're down by a score, and it's third and long. It's passing down. The linebacker walks into the line and says, "We're about to beat y'all." Our center, my good friend Anthony Garcia, says, "Watch this." We throw a fade ball to Landon Parker in the back of the end zone. Landon goes up and grabs it, and we win the game. It was amazing.
That's cool. It's when people talk smack, I mean they got to be able to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, and obviously you guys, you just kind of showed them. So
Yeah.
it certainly sounds like a lot of fun. Um, Al, do want to get a chance to meet you outside of football a little bit. So if you could share perhaps something about yourself that you haven't already, whether it be your hobbies, personal interests, other passions, or what have you, go ahead and share something. So give us something interesting about yourself.
Me and my wife have recently picked up pickleball. You played yet?
No, not yet.
You need to go to the paddle, go out and play some pickleball. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Anything else about you? I mean, I'm just trying to, do a dive on you. Just kind of see if there's. I mean, do you have any like special talent or anything? I mean, again, you had shared like, your academic journey. I didn't know if perhaps, like you said, you did some theater too. So I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
know if that was maybe perhaps a passion of yours or what.
theater's not so much a passion. My wife's an actress, and she was in all the shows in high school. So before I started dating her, I was in the shows, getting close to her. And then after we were together, we were hanging after school after that. But I wouldn't say it's a passion, but I enjoyed doing it. Um, I write poetry once in a while. Big poetry guy. Um, Started that in high school and kind of carried it on. For my so for at Wofford, we do a senior capstone. Um, so second semester of my senior year, we went down to I guess I went down to my high school, Landmark Christian School, and did a poetry therapy study where I took all the senior English classes and I gave them an anxiety quiz at the start, at the middle, at the end of a month, and then every day in between, I gave them 10 minutes of time just to do poetry every day before class and track their anxiety throughout the course, and got some interesting results.
Cool. Well, certainly interesting. We have a poet, and I could definitely understand now how you got your wife. You woo her with with the poetry. So, cool. So, I do want to go through just a quick question answer session. Just to kind of go through perhaps some of your favorites that you might be able to share. So, let's run through these real quick. So, favorite movie.
The Patriot.
The Patriot. Wow, that's an intense Mel Gibson movie. So, cool. What about oh, I don't know. Let's say it's karaoke night and Al Hogan's got to get up there and sing in front of a crowd. What's that one song that you're most confident about getting up and delivering in front of the crowd?
Let's say Friends in Low Places.
Funny, going Garth Brooks style.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, all right. Let's say favorite superhero.
Hmm. I'm gonna go basic Superman.
Nothing wrong with that one.
Yeah.
Obviously going with the classic. I'm cool with that. Um, have you perhaps thought about a charity or cause that you might put forth some effort into as you use your football platform? I mean, have you thought about that these days or what?
I haven't put much thought into that. No, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head that I would, and I can't. I'm drawing blanks everywhere. So
Well, I mean, at some level, I mean, you kind of already have. I mean, like you had mentioned, you talked about going back to your hometown and getting into classrooms, sharing a little bit, helping them, with anxiety and stuff like that. So maybe perhaps somewhere along those lines. I mean, I think that you do offer that a little bit. So I just putting that in your brain. So maybe you can have that, answer for the next guy. But let's say again, you had shared that you come from a small town, man. You come from a small town. So being a small town guy, what's the farthest you've ever been from home?
oh, well, funny story about that is at Landmark they did a exchange student sort of situation where they brought in some kids from China and we hosted a kid. And during the summer, his family actually flew me out. So about as far as away as you can get.
Like literally. I mean, that's crazy. How was that experience in China?
Oh, great experience. Food was amazing. We uh we went out to eat every night. We one morning I woke up and she tried to feed me something for breakfast. I don't know what it was. It was not good. After that, he made or she made her kid go down and get me dumplings every day for morning for breakfast.
That works. I mean, I think that that's fair. So cool. Well, obviously, man, I know we are talking under the circumstances of a guy that wants to get his name out there and perhaps go to the next level and play offensive line. And I know that somewhere along the line, you probably have picked up some people, know some people in the NFL that you study, you want to emulate, maybe play alongside, one day. Who are you a big fan of that plays in the NFL right now? Who are you studying?
I watch a lot of Quentin Nelson film. Um, I think the way that he plays is fast and it's hard and it's something I want to do as well. Jason Kelsey as well has an unbelievable motor. Someone that is just an incredible person. Someone that I would want to be like one day and would love to play next to if at all possible.
Awesome. Well, might have that chance coming up very soon. I mean, I know you have this upcoming season at Kennesaw State, and we'll see what happens after that. Maybe go out there and uh, prove yourself in front of a lot of scouts. So, before we close up shop, I just want you to talk to those scouts. Tell them why they need to pay attention to you this year and why you would be a great addition to their team after that. So, go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
Yeah. So I would say I'm a hardworking guy. That's something that I've held my hat on for a long time. I'm gonna outwork everybody with me. Um, I also say I'm one of the most consistent people you could ever meet. I mean, I grew up in one house. I dated one girl, went to one high school all the way through, went to one, like, I've only done one. Once I figure out what I like, I stick with it. And football's been the thing that's been with me my entire life. And I don't want to let it go.
Well, obviously something that you're very passionate about, that you've been putting so much effort into throughout your entire life, and you've gotten yourself to this point now where you're at Kennesaw State, and you have a lot of high hopes this upcoming season, and just kind of looking at you from the lens of uh, you know of a guy who is a prospect. You do offer some position versatility. Certainly, been a veteran of the sport. Having a good sense and knowledge of the game certainly helps. Competitive nature, been a part of a lot of different offenses, so you should be able to accommodate yourself to whatever situation that you're put in. So, Al, do wish you best of luck this upcoming season and beyond. All
Thank you.
right.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for the interview. Once again, Al Hogan, offensive lineman, Kennesaw State. Check this guy out this season.